Alright, time for some more League of Legends. This time around I'm going to be looking at mid lane, and I will be playing Swain. Swain is a very interesting champion. A lot of his damage is dot based, but he also comes with a very sustain oriented ultimate. In this particular instance, it looks like I'm either going to be against Zed or Elise. Recently, and by recently I mean probably the last 6 months or so, we've been seeing a lot of ADs going mid, like Zed or Talon, specifically assassin-esque champions, because they tend to counter a lot of the mages. Swain gets around this in the fact that he can sustain very well, which makes him fairly beefy. So, assuming it's Zed I'm against, it's going to be a very passive, like it'll be a very aggressive lane. I think Zed will push the aggression, and I'll have to respond with aggression. If I don't, he'll basically bully me. So for masteries, I'm running 2109. Picking out what you'd expect from your typical mage masteries in offensive, and then in utility I'm grabbing mana regen, better summoner spells, and then increase cooldown on my summoners, as well as the buff duration talent. You have 1 extra point. You can pretty much put it anywhere. You have to get to your buff duration increase. So Zed's not really going to do much, I don't think, until he gets 6. So I'm thinking we should go with a really aggressive start to really bully him and, punish him for being in our lane. So we'll go with Adorans into health pots. So let's talk about Swain's skills, I suppose, next. Swain's passive is Carrion Renewal. He gets mana back whenever he kills a unit. It starts at 10. I'm pretty sure it goes up each level, because that would be silly if it didn't. We're going to be leeching for Vi as well. We'll move from his passive then onto his Q. What his Q does is he sends out his Raven, Beatrice, and basically it'll create a tether between the Raven and the enemy and start dealing damage over time and slowing them. The enemy, if they move far enough away from the Raven, it'll break the tether and stop the damage, and that's sad, because you don't want to lose your damage. But that is something about Swain, is that you can move away from that bit of damage. But normally you want to go in with your Q or your E, and then follow it up with a W. But I'll explain more about that later. So moving from his Q, which is Decrepify, onto his W, which is Never Move. What Never Move does is a targeted AoE ability, and then after a short delay, the targeted area will erupt with these talons, and they will root the enemies in there for a fairly lengthy duration. And moving on from W, then we have his E, which is Torment. Torment is a damage. It's a target ability, damage over time, but it also increases damage the opponent takes. Now, the thing to note about Torment is that it's all damage that Swain does, not just his abilities, but item actives as well as summoners. So you can get a fair amount of extra burst with it, with like Ignite and stuff, or like a DFG, which is Deathfire Grasp. I start with Torment, and I max my Torment first. I normally go Torment, Decrepify, Never Move, Torment, and then I max Torment, and then followed by that I max Decrepify. So moving on from Torment, we have his ultimate, which is Ravenous Flock. Now, Ravenous Flock is basically what is iconic for Swain. what Ravenous Flock does is that it transforms Swain into a giant bird demon, similar to like the Lords of Change from Warhammer. And while you're in your Ravenous Flock form, you start consuming your mana, but you deal. You send out 3 ravens, and they deal damage to nearby enemies and heal you for a percent of it. You heal more from champions, less from minions. Basically, the ravens always have to target separate enemies, so you can't like stack 3 ravens on one person, unfortunately. And this is a toggle ability, so it's like no cooldown. The only restriction, of course, is the fact that you have to eat your mana to use it. So yeah, that's basically what makes Swain so good, is you can sustain so much off that ultimate. The downside is it makes Swain really mana hungry, so you're very blue dependent. By coming in there. So yeah, map awareness is a big thing. I kind of wasn't aware there, which is my bad. But also, pinging definitely helps your team. And got us a kill on the Zed there. So that's good. That'll give us some gold. So basically, you might have noticed there, basically what you want to do with Swain is you want to either E or Q in first, and then E or Q, depending on which one you didn't use. And then you want to follow up with your W. Because of the delay on your W's route, it's a lot easier to hit if they have your Decrepify on them first. So you use either your E or Q, and then you use the other one. And then you toss in your W, and basically from there you turn on your Ravenous Flock. You can auto attack, but it'll give you the most potential damage and give you a lot of free harass on them. So yeah, it's and in lane you want to harass with your E, since you're maxing it first. It'll give you your most damage. But yeah, you'll notice I'm able to like fairly easily bully Zed around. And then we'll just sustain a little bit with Ravenous Flock. Now, another thing with Ravenous Flock is that while it does consume mana, the mana it consumes continuously goes up. You'll eventually get to a point where you just cannot use it, like you just... And then picking up another kill on the Zed. The Vi gank definitely helped there with the Rammus, but I would have been fine either way. You might notice I didn't go down in health at all. So it looks like the aggressive start and basically pushing Zed around is helping us out. The thing with Swain is a lot of people underestimate that healing from his ultimate and how beefy it just makes him. Likewise, his damage is very deceptive. If you're just throwing out E's in lane, they don't feel like they're doing a lot, but when you start adding everything on top of that, it really adds up quickly and really is dangerous. I mean, you'll see there, Zed just came back and I've already chunked him for about half his health. So, sustain some more off the minions. So I'm thinking when we go back, we're gonna start on a Rod of Ages or a Liandry's. I'm still debating. Both are gonna make us tanky. I like Rod of Ages because overall it's gonna give you more health, and I do believe a little more AP. But of course, it also gives you mana. But whereas with Liandry's, we would get more damage. because of the passive. We're definitely gonna grab boots as well. He's got his ultimate, so. But yeah, as I said, fairly easy lane because we're being so aggressive with them and we're beefy. Next time he comes out like that, I think I'm gonna flash in and see if I can grab a kill on him. Ooh, got the kill, but he picked up the shutdown. Still, I think it's gonna be worth it because it's still putting us further ahead of him. So, let's grab boots and let's grab that as well and the amp tomb. That should put us in a fairly good state. I'm gonna see about Vi giving me blue. Looks like Vi's actually in trouble. We'll hold off on that. Our Nasus appears to be lagging. I've been noticing a lot of people are using that as an excuse lately, and I'm beginning to wonder if it's actually lag or if people are just trolling. Anyways, so we almost got our Landries coming back to lane here. We should be able to again keep bullying Zed. You'll notice Zed will not come near us now. I'll ask Vi again for blue this time, since she's not wrapped up in getting murdered. So, Swain is probably, I think, my favorite champion. He was the first champion I've ever actually bought a skin for, and I really grew attached to him. Admittedly, I really liked like the Chaos Sorcerers and Lords of Change and stuff from Warhammer, so that's probably an influence on it. We'll just hit him with an E there. Alright, and now it looks like Vi is going. Didn't get the Zed, but forced him to pop his Hex Shrinker, which is a good buy on his part, because Hex Shrinker is a big counter to mages, obviously. It seems a pretty standard item on most mids, like AD mids. He's also going boots of mobility, which I don't know how I feel about. Because he's not really. I'm not letting him roam. So they're not really doing anything for him. I think he'd be better served with like Merc Treads to negate some of my damage. I'm noted something someone told me is that I don't like tab and check items a lot, but I don't feel the need to because a lot of champions are very predictable in what they're going to build. Almost got the Zed there. I should have ignited. I didn't. I definitely fucked up. Keep Zed backed off. So another thing about Swain is he can tower dive fairly easy. I'm a bit reluctant against Zed because of the burst from his ultimate, but we may give it a try, see how it goes. You want to really think about before you pull, before you pull an aggressive move like that, because it could make or break your lane. Like, you don't want to fall behind because of something like that. and then we'll flash out. And yeah, barely living with 8 HP. That was a very messy thing that went down. No kills on either side though, sadly. The Hex Drinker proc definitely saved Zed there. Now we'll be able to get our Leandries, which is even more damage. For those who don't know, Leandries basically you do every time you use a spell on someone, you put a dot on them that does 2% of the health over every 1 second, I think it is, or yeah, it's per second and it lasts for 3 seconds. But if they're impaired at all, that is slowed, snared, rooted, etc., they instead take double that. So being that we have innate snares and slows and stuff, it means we're basically going to be able to burn him for 4% of his health whenever we cast spells as well. And then we'll, boom. Almost killing him there. Couldn't really follow it up, unfortunately, but able to just keep heavy aggression on though. So we should be able to drop the tower here, maybe. Take the tower hit, why not? No idea where Rammus is, really not that worried though. Sustain a bit more. Zed's going to help his lane here, so we should go help as well. You'll notice Thresh there going hard. You don't want to do that as a support because you're taking away kills from your carries, and Thresh being fed isn't gonna win us the game. We're low on mana, we'll push out this tower and then go back. So let's take a look at what everyone has. Elise rushing her Leandry's Torment, not surprising. She also grabbed a Seeker's, smart against an AD. I could have did that as well. I chose not to. I chose to go straight for Leandry's. Leona get her emblem for Aegis, not surprising, as well as Philistone. Zed mobility boots, a long sword, probably gonna build that into something. Hex Drinker, well, I hope he's gonna build it into something. Caitlyn again, rushing the BF sword, like it's really standard stuff. I guess I'm going to start going over items a bit more, I think. During games, I just haven't been, mostly because it's not something I do. A lot of people do it, but a lot of champions are very predictable in what they're gonna do, so. Go back mid here and tell Zed no means no. Are we gonna get the Thresh grab? No, we're not. So we'll just go back to pushing the lane. Could have grabbed blue here. And that'll help us basically win the lane even more. The lane definitely didn't work out for Zed the way he wanted, but so Zed's probably hit at bottom. No wards, which is probably gonna kill them. We'll head down, see if we can do some cleanup. Zed get a double kill, which is never good. Looks like they really didn't even do anything to him either, which is not great. Admittedly, Thresh should have probably been with his ADC. I'm not sure why he wasn't, but put on some harass there. The Zed barely living. The Rammus coming in definitely is what killed us. Killed me, at least, I think. But that's what I mean, you know, aggressive moves like that can not pay off, and then it's pretty bad. So I think we're gonna go with our Rabadons next. That'll give us a ton more damage as well. We're ahead right now, which is good. We're not doing too bad overall. I'm worried that our Nasus isn't going to be able to do anything. He doesn't seem very knowledgeable about Nasus, which is unfortunate. Zed really is getting scary. Shutting down the Zed, so that'll give us some bonus gold. That's good. No blue buff, so we're like completely drained already. We can let our mana tick though, and we can go push mid. Another good item to start with on Swain as well is a chalice. Wow, word things. I'm not very good at them today, apparently. Basically, what that'll do is give you like help elevate some of your mana problems. And we'll just stay in there, so Kate can't really do anything. We'll go ahead and back. We're half health, no mana, so. Alright, so. Don't have enough for our needlessly large rod yet, so we'll just chill on the lasting one. We'll head back mid. Looks like they overstayed their welcome a little bit, and Thresh died. They shouldn't be able to push this tower though with me here and Nasus, because we're both really beefy, as well as Vi chilling in the bush. Get the got the cape, but then no real follow-ups. Unfortunately, our team's really squishy, it seems, and they can't really take a lot of abuse. I mean, we got a lot of people low there, but didn't actually kill anyone. Like, we only killed the one, I do believe, so. Part of that problem is I can't, like, I could have went back in, I just didn't have the mana to do anything, so Luckily blue's up again, so we'll go grab that. I never went over my runes either. I feel very silly for not doing that. It completely skipped my mind. Rune wise, I'm just doing flat AP in everything but marks. I go with my magic pen in my marks. So get the blue buff, grab some wolves too, why the fuck not? Zed's gonna be here, thinks he's a cool person. The Rammus taunt. Team came in a little late, but we got the Zed and we got the Elise, so. And we're gonna get the Rammus, I hope, as well. Although the Caitlyn's doing work. Our Nasus is kinda just chilling top, so that's not good. Our Nasus is kinda not the best player. Basically sat top, didn't do anything, and cost us a tower, so. We lost our blue buff, which sucks, but oh well. So I got my needlessly large Raj, another 400 and some gold, then I can get my Rabadons, which will increase our damage output some more. After our Rabadons, we'll probably go with Zhonya's for the shield. Interesting thing about the Zhonya's is if you Zhonya while in bird form, your birds will still be going out and dealing damage and healing you. So it's something interesting to note. Another rank in our ultimate and come up here. Team a little slow to react there, but overall we're walking out ahead, so can't complain. Nasus picking up kills, which is not reassuring since our Nasus isn't the best. Got our Rabadons. Not a lot of wards on the mat, so I'm gonna grab, say, 2 pinks, yeah. We can counter a ward Baron and Dragon at least.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Now give the orders.
So let's go to Baron and drop the ward. You normally don't want to ward by yourself, but I'm not too worried because I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be top, considering my team is overstaying their welcome up there, and that's probably going to get them killed. But although they don't seem to be doing terrible, well, I take that back actually. Thresh going mid. I'll push out these minions mid and then go drop my ward at dragon.
An ally has been slain.
I'm 5 steps ahead of you.
And caught that pinky just as it expired.
How obvious.
Nice big wave bottom, but Saber's gonna go get that. We'll let her do that. We'll grab race. Our blue is up, so we're gonna go grab that. Enemy team's actually mocking Nasus's build. That's kind of what my hope of these videos will be, is that like people will not do what this Nasus is doing.
Victory awaits.
This Nasus, people who know Nasus will know what I mean when I say he has a Warmog, a Tiamats,
My destination.
a Vamp Scepter, and Boots of Speed. With his enhancement already, mind you. I'm dropping. We need
Ally has been slain.
no focus on the Kate. Probably shouldn't have fought that, but Nasa's up top doing his own thing. So we'll look into our Zanyas now. We'll start with the Seeker. Might as well just grab the double cloth armor, honestly, for the defense.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
We got a tower top. Maybe he'll push the inhib. I doubt it. No, he's not going to be able to because there's 2 people. They're going to get our inhib out, though, which is going to hurt.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
I don't foresee us winning this game because of the Nasus. Like, he's kind of a huge detriment. We're basically being forced to fight our fights as 2v or 4v5, so. Well, we'll go over here and grab some race for the extra gold. And of course, you know, Vi comes to take some.
Victory awaits.
Besides pushing top, so we'll go deal with that. So we'll Nasus apparently.
My thoughts exactly.
Or not. Looks like he's gonna grab wolves.
Now give
Still very little wards on the map. We might, after we get our Seekers, we might have to rectify that. Pretty much no one's buying wards, it looks like.
5 steps.
Thresh is putting down like the occasional one, and that's about it.
How obvious. If you insist.
So that'll push Zed out of the fight, hopefully. And then we'll come back around here. No, the Kate. So it looks like Kate is not getting focused in team fights, which sucks. We'll grab our Seekers. That's probably GG. We'll grab some wards in case though. Well, sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. In my case, you lose a lot, win very few. Um, but at the very least, I hope this helps a bit with Swain. Items, don't take that to heart. There's a lot of ways you can do items. I mean, that's the thing about Swain. You can go more offense, you can go more defense. You can go. It's very flexible, and I like that about Swain. Anyways, I will see you next time.